Janella, just a quick question. What's the last year been like for charity? I mean, it's been such a difficult year for a lot of people, but charities and you guys, it must have been extremely difficult.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a tough year, but thankfully we've had support from those on tonight's call and across the county. But just to put it into perspective, Rocking Horse has lost over £250,000 in funding during the last year alone. During the last financial year, we have not put on one single event. So it's been tough because a large part of what we do comes from events, which have just not been able to happen in the current climate. But of course, that doesn't mean we can't, with the sick children and babies aren't stopping getting sick. So we still need to be able to fundraise for them. So it's been tough. But events like this, platforms like this, is making the virtual world possible. So thank you to everybody tonight for being part of this event that's supporting Rocking Horse.
Great stuff. And we will be sharing a QR code in the chat box. There will be a raffle at the end of tonight's event. There's 3 fantastic prizes. The prizes are, the first prize is an Etch voucher for a 5-course taster menu for 2. The second prize, raffle prize is a fish platter from Fish Galore, and the third is a Piglet's Pantry hamper of pies and sausage rolls. And the QR in the chat box there, if you open up your camera phone and you scan the QR code there, it'll take you to a Just Giving page, and it's a £10 donation to enter the raffle. Feel free to enter more than once, but everyone that enters the raffle will be doing the draw at the end of tonight's event. So is that everything, Janella? Would you like to add anything to that?
Just a couple of quick things for me to add. I also want to say a massive thank you to the sponsors of tonight's event. So that's Retail Distribution Services. I know David from Retail RDS, as I call them, have joined us tonight. City Utilities, which our compere Steve represents, Piglet's Pantry, and Fish Galore. I know Sean and Claire, you're here today as well. So thank you to all the sponsors, because without you, it wouldn't have made tonight possible. And then my final is to Mr. Edwards himself. He has put a lot of time and energy and effort into tonight, not just for tonight, but in the lead up to it. And he's done a lot to help support us. So Stephen, thank you from us at Rocking Horse.
So good evening, Chef.
So
nice to see you.
Good evening. It's good to see you. So I'm doing a dish that would normally be on the restaurant menu at the moment. Unfortunately, we're closed. But instead of just doing a dish that's really simple, it is quite technical. But as we go along, I've tried to share as much recipes with everyone. So don't feel you have to do the whole hog. The dish works perfectly well as 2 or 3 elements, and I'll explain that as I go along. But shall we get cooking?
Yeah, let's get cooking. Come on. I feel like I'm there with you.
So the first thing is to explain the dishes. So the fish dish I'm doing is cod with Jersey Royal potatoes, a little bit of wild garlic, which has just come into season, which hopefully everyone's been able to see in the last couple of weeks as you go out on your walks. The dish I'm doing alongside that is a vegetarian version. So at Etch, we do cater to dietaries, but I also want to keep the dish as close to the original dish as possible. So like a homemade hash brown, which is really nice. So first of all, I've got the cod, which you might be able to see here. Beautiful. Use Fish Galore for your fish, or ever fish. I think it's really important is the difference in quality between using the fishmonger and the supermarket. And this is a nice 130 gram portion. I did have a little bit extra, which I've just spiced down, which you might see in the recipe. Now with that, I'm just going to put it into a brine. So with all our meat and fish at Etch, we brine the meat and fish, really just A, to season it, and B, to firm it up, make it easier to cook, and also from a consistency point of view. So the brine I've made beforehand as well, it's so easy. It's just water and salt, water to the boil, and then pour it into another container, and then leave it to chill down. Because you don't want the fish going into a hot or a warm brine. It's really important that it's a cold, being chilled down. Now I'm going to leave that for 40 minutes. So easy peasy. And again, like I said, we can do that with not just fish, we can do it with meat as well. And it just, like I said, especially with cod, it just turns it up. It's just really nice. The next thing I'm going to do is get some new potatoes on, which is just over on this camera. So the new potatoes are actually Jersey Royals. Again, just coming into season. I know, Steve, you said you were struggling to get Jersey Royals at the moment. Luckily, in the restaurant industry, we get things a little bit earlier. Just like the wild garlic I've got here is amazing. It's actually the whole restaurant smells of garlic. And those of you who have never used wild garlic before, it's so readily available. If you go on like woodland walks, you can pick it, you can borrow it. You know exactly where it is because it just smells. It's got a real garlic hum to it, and it's literally just the leaves, which is so easy to do. So I've got the pods grinding. I've got my my Jersey Royals cooking. The next stage is to make the hash brown. So we get the potatoes in the grain.
So they are the Jersey Royals that you're doing that with, yeah? Have they been
That's
boiled
right,
or
yeah.
anything?
No, they're raw, skin on. Again, I think with Jersey Royals, you've got to keep the skin on. I mean, that's where all the flavour is. It's a beautiful. I mean, what I love about Jersey Royals is they are ultra seasonal, local to an extent. Real. I think what's hard with market products is you don't tend to get the real flavour. If that makes sense, you know, like when you buy heritage pizza, that actually tastes like pizza rather than just but if you can't get Jersey Royals, Marriott Pipers are a good alternative. Again, great them to skin on, or just normal new potatoes.
Can you count your fingers up in a minute when you finish doing that?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that, how far do I go down? I think you pointed out earlier, Steve. I haven't got first aid here.
So I've got an ambulance standing by outside just in case.
So I have to say, I like your hat.
Thank you very much. I just
Maybe I should. I mean, I've had. Oh, you've got a question.
Well, the question I'm going to have is Bradley, is it possible to use the mic over on the side where he's preparing rather than using the main one? Because I think we're not getting a full listen to Stephen. Is that a possibility?
Sorry, Steve. Just repeat that.
Oh, is Bradley? Yeah, Bradley. Is it possible? Can we listen to Stephen on his mic on the microphone on the one where he's got the prep rather than on the main one? Because I think we're losing him a little bit when we're talking to him.
We can do. Yeah, Stephen will just need to unmute that computer, and
sorry,
we can mute the other one. Yeah.
It's just I think it might be easier to hear because. Is that all right, Stephen? Can we do that?
Better? Yeah.
That does sound better, doesn't it, Bradley? Yeah. Now, the other thing is for you lovely people out there watching Stephen grinding his fingers on the old scraper there, is that if you go on the right-hand side of your screen, you've got a Q&A button. If you click on it, you can actually put questions on there that you'd like me to ask Stephen whilst he's cooking. So if you'd like to put any questions on there, they will be rated as well. So if other people agree with the question, then there'll be more of them. So if you can use the Q&A on the right-hand side of your screen, we can ask Stephen some other questions. So Stephen, just checking, can you remember back to when you were crowned Master Chef in the professionals?
Can I remember? I mean, it was a long time ago.
Well,
but
yeah, can you?
2013.
2013, which is now it's 8 years ago.
I know. Don't remind me.
Yeah, and you were you were the youngest at the time. But has anyone beaten that now? Been any younger than you?
Yeah. There's we've got Craig Johnson.
Right.
But I think that's about it.
Well, you're still second youngest then, but youngest at the time, which was great. And can you remember what you cooked for whoever you cooked it for?
Yeah, it was so the final 3 courses. I did pigeon with beetroot and feta, and I also did stone bass with crab also, and then the dessert. Pistachio.
A honey cake.
honey cake with yogurt and pistachio.
Yeah, yeah, very nice, and they all enjoyed it, I guess. So yeah. So what got you interested in taking up being a chef? Because did you think of this when you was a young child?
To be honest, I wanted to be a footballer, but like a lot of young boys, it was a failed career in the making.
Well, I have heard though that you still play a little bit and you're quite handy, so it's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, what's nice is, I mean, I'm able to play for like Rocking Horse, charity football team. It's not as demanding, and gets me to run out a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. So what are we up to now? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got the potatoes, just grated a little bit of water in there. The other thing I was doing while I was asking you questions is I've got the cling film, so I'm lining the mould. So 3 layers of cling film. Can you see that?
Yep.
And then we're just going to push that down into the mould. Because after the potatoes are cooked, we're going to put it in here, cling film over the top. And then what's really important is we press it with a weight on the top. And that just compresses the potato and shapes it into a little hash brown.
Ah. I've got a question for you from Noel Preston. Lovely Noel.
Oh, yeah.
He says, is it about time you become a judge, a special guest judge on MasterChef? Have you been asked yet?
A lot of people ask me this question. But the thing is, it's really just the amateurs that get asked back on the show. The professionals, we just get forgotten about.
Oh, that's charming, isn't it?
So what I've got here is some beautiful cod roe. It's been smoked. Now, what I love about my style of cooking is literally cod and Jersey Royals, a little bit of wild garlic in there. But what I try and do is, I've got the fish bones, which I make into a stock. I've got the cod liver, which has been smoked, and that goes into the sauce. So we're just adding all these different layers of flavour. So the cod roe, I'm just going to dice up.
Right, and now I know we could get all these wonderful ingredients from Fish Galore, one of our sponsors. But how and where did we get the cod roe from?
Where did I get it from?
No, not from the supplier, but whereabouts with the fish?
What part of the fish is it from?
Yeah, well, I know the roe. The roe is the egg of the fish. So where does it? On a cod? Is that an internal item?
It is an internal.
All right. Okay.
And then it's lovely. It's beautifully smoked. But what I want to start doing is smoking it myself. And this is how I'm trying to progress the restaurant. So instead of like buying products, we want to do it in house and have that control. So in here, I've got the diced smoked cod roe, some cream, a little bit of fish stock in there, and that's everything. We don't need to season this because the smoked cod roe is quite salty.
Right. Do you have to use when you're using your cod? Can you use other white fish as well? Is there other white fish that you use?
Yeah.
Liz wants to know.
Absolutely. What I'd love about this recipe is feel free to use hake, coley, brine it as well, or salt it so it just firms up the flesh. With the cod roe, you don't have to do that. It's quite an acquired taste, but gives a lovely smoky taste to the dish. I'm actually doing like a wild garlic cream for the vegetarian option, so that would work just as well.
Rightio. And what's the difference between cod roe and cod liver?
Good question. The roe itself is the eggs. The liver is a separate organ, but equally can be smoked and taste just as good. But this is the thing with fish in particular. Like with a mammal, we tend to use lots of different cuts. But with fish, it tends to be just the fillets. And we're almost missing out on a huge amount of the fish that can still be used and eaten.
Well, I remember years ago, oh, sorry, Steve.
Great potato, little stir. Doesn't take too long. We just want to soften it down and cook it through. You were saying, sorry, Steve?
Yeah, I was just going to say, my great granddad used to have it was a farmer and also had a slaughterhouse, and they used to take the meat from market and from the slaughterhouse, and they used to use every part of it. There was nothing that was left not used from an animal that was used from the butchers in them days. But now we just use the best bits, don't we? Or perceive the best bits.
And this is where I think cooking is starting to evolve. It's because I would rather pay more for produce and then use all of it. So not having any waste is really important to me, but giving the best quality is important for my guests.
Rightio.
So I've got some pre-cooked Jersey rolls, which I'm just mashing down with a fork. And what I'm going to do with that is give them a little season. And now this is going to make up our fish cakes. So when we get the fish in, we get the bones, which we make the stock.
Yeah.
We also got a little bit of the belly, which we dice down, just here. And then we've got to fold that through the cooked potatoes. So about 50-50 diced cod belly to the potatoes. And it's raw as well. So when we come to cook the fish cake, we've got really nice delicate fish that's just cooked in the cake. To that as well, we're going to add a little bit of wild garlic. Now, I was saying to someone earlier in the room that wild garlic you can't just buy in the supermarket. So a great alternative is basil. And all I'm going to do is just chop this down finely. Just add a little bit to our fish cake.
Is it stronger than bulb garlic, do you think? Or is it just a different flavour?
It's a similar flavour. I just find it a little bit more fresh and easier to use. Like garlic, it's very fiddly. You've got to peel it, crush it, chop it. Whereas this is lovely. It's a real taste of spring.
I've got a very popular question. Popular question coming in here is if you haven't got time to make your fish stock, what brand or type of stock would you recommend?
Again, I just think anything's better than water. So I think we said earlier with the sauce, with the cod roe sauce, we've got the cream and the cod roe in there. I mean, worst case scenario, just let it down with water. But I always think, even if it's chicken stock, like from a stock cube, Knorr, would work really nicely with this dish. I love chicken. I love that umami flavour with fish.
So Knorr's your choice of
yeah,
stock
my kind of
cube.
go-to. So our potatoes cooked. Going to get a mould back over here. So lined with cling film.
Yeah.
And it's important it's 3 or 4 layers, because when we come to pull it out, we don't want the cling film to break.
Right. Okay. And here's another one. So using the question just moved then. If you're using the cod roe liver in this, you're only using a small amount for doing it for 2 people. What else? What if you were to buy more of it? I think is it 100 grams you need in this?
It is, yeah.
100 grams. So if it's a really small amount, if you could only get the amount, I don't know, say it's 500 grams. What else can you do with the roe? What other things can you produce with the roe?
The most famous is Terra Masalata.
Right.
It makes a great dip for crisps, and that's just lit cod roe and oil, and that's it.
Olive oil, or any oil?
I tend to use like a pomace oil, so nothing that's too flavoured, and really just lets the produce sing.
And this is me being yep, sorry, go on.
And then press this down. And then this needs to go into the fridge to press.
And Stephen, at the moment, or not at the moment because you've been closed for a while, but when you're open, what is the most popular dish in your restaurant?
I mean, it's a difficult question because we do the taster menus. So the menu changes every week. So a dish stays on for 4 weeks maximum. But I would actually say this dish is very popular. It's nothing too crazy. Really tasty cod, wild garlic, and Jersey rolls. And that flavour combination you could use in lots of different ways. You could do a nice quiche with that flavour combination.
Oh yeah. We better. When we come to the break, we'll have to open up the bubbly.
Yes, I've already opened up mine.
Well, yeah, no, I did see you this morning with it.
So how are we looking for time, Steve?
Well, we're about there for the break in a moment.
Okay,
so
I'm just going to quickly do my fish cakes. And like I said, for the vegetarian option, it's the same without the diced cod.
Yeah, and not the chicken stock either way. You wouldn't use chicken stock either, would you?
No, and it's just adapting.
Yeah.
What we're doing for the vegetarians, and it's not just like in 2021. There's lots of dietary requirements, and what we try and do is just adapt what we've got rather than a whole new dish. So it's almost like a bespoke menu for that person.
So, if Elaine asked this interesting one, what one ingredient would you not live without?
I would say salt. In terms of the key for everything else, I don't use pepper in any cooking or any spice. So for me, I just like to, the same with the brine, it's just like bring the flavours together with a little bit of salt and layer it up with different textures.
You don't use spices?
No.
So you leave it, it's all the freshness of the, well, I've tried your 11 courses and everything was vibrant and fresh and full of flavour and there was no spices in there then?
None at all.
None at all. Right, so you're now rolling your fish cakes in breadcrumbs, am I right?
Yeah, so this is not quite. So we've got flour, egg and breadcrumbs. I tricked you there, I only had the flour up.
Yeah.
So flour first. Then our egg. Give it a little shake. Then into the breadcrumbs.
So when you get home tonight, what you got for tea tonight?
I'm going to eat this.
I was going to hope so, yeah. Good. Travels well, good.
I'm going to eat at the restaurant, Steve.
You are? Lovely. Say what
I haven't eaten at the restaurant in ages.
Right, well, we should encourage everyone to, as we're coming up to having the break now. So you're doing this bit and then that would be going into the oven, I guess. Are we, the wine that we've got, the sparkling wine, you've opened yours. Let's hope everyone at home's opened theirs now so they can have a glass of it and then we'll talk about that when we come back in the second half.
Perfect. Well, this is a good time for me to break now.
Is it? Then that's what we're looking for. You're looking for an actual break now.
Perfect.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you. Thanks, Stephen. We'll come back to you and we'll see what other questions we've got. Bradley's coming back into the... Bradley, have you just had something else to eat? What, you had a pizza delivered?
No, I've just been making notes, watching Stephen there, actually, Steve.
Well, now you do know that all these notes, this is being recorded so that everyone will be able to do this at home in their own speed. And if you want to make bigger portions than what he's making, then obviously you make bigger portions. That's a dietary requirement there, very small.
Absolutely. The recordings will be sent out to everyone here so you can watch it back and cook along again, and there'll be lists of ingredients and where to get that and things like that. But now's a good time to break. Stephen, are you happy if we take a 5-10 minute break and then we'll come back on the screen? Okay for you? Great. So
quick recap. We've got our two sauces. Oh, and actually I might need to move them over to here. So we've got our cod roe sauce, and we've just got the cream, which I'm going to blitz up with the wild garlic. So that's one sauce for the vegetarians. Yep. And then the other sauce was with the cod roe, a bit of fish stock, and double cream. The other things we've got is our hash brown, this is what I've done earlier, which is nice and pressed.
Yeah.
Which we're going to take out and portion.
So we've got hash brown and fish cakes. Yep.
We've got what, sorry?
We've got hash brown and fish cakes.
Yeah, I know. It's classy food here.
I know, it's good.
But it's a good thing to say, because I do love nostalgic food. And I think you do as well.
Yeah, we all love it. Yeah. It's what we like.
So I'm going to blitz the wild garlic sauce first. So apologies if it's a bit loud.
Well, while you're blitzing, how can we cook fish on a barbecue that still comes out like restaurant food? How do we do it? I'm going to take a guess on this one. You're going to say tin foil, aren't you?
Question come up.
Yeah.
And I find cooking fish on the barbecue can be difficult. But I would almost say like on paupiette. So you get your fish, keep it whole on the bone. Something like that, where it's gutted, head off, and then put it in some baking paper. And instead of putting it direct on the barbecue, it's almost set up a little stand above it. So you get that smoky flavour and heat coming up from underneath it. And then with the mackerel, you can have like lemon, some herbs, a little bit of oil. And when you open it up, it's been cooked nice and gently in there.
Right.
Because the thing that worries me is if the barbecue's not hot enough, you're going to have fish just stuck all over the grill.
Yeah.
And I think that's everyone's. It's my worry as well.
Yeah. And the secret is to have it as hot as possible so that it doesn't stick to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same with your meat as well, isn't it? The same thing. If you get it hot enough.
I was going to say this because I'm going to pan fry the cod in a minute. So I like a medium heat for the fish, but with meat, full power, because you can get that nice caramelisation.
Yeah.
Where something like cod can be a little bit delicate.
Another question for you? What's the best ingredient we've probably never heard of?
Hopefully cod roe, smoked cod roe. I'm just trying to think as well. I love raisin clams.
Right. They're the ones that spit. They're the ones that spit, aren't they?
Yeah, they look like a cutthroat razor, about this long.
Yeah.
But really delicious.
So that's the one, is it?
I mean, you put me on the spot there. That's the one I can think of at the moment.
Well, you said you wanted just questions.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Oh, I like this question. This is a great one from Matt. This is absolutely spot on because we always think this one at home when we're watching it. Like on MasterChef, when presenting food to the judges, how do you keep it warm? Because when you're not the first one to bring it out to them, and you're maybe the third one, by the time they get to your food, because they all tell you to stop at the same time, it's going to be cold. So are they eating cold food?
Yeah, I've ruined the secret. It is cold food.
It is.
What they do though is eat the food as you're cooking.
They come round nicking
It's
bits.
really difficult just to cook. Yeah, they'd have a spoon in your sauce. They'd come over and taste. They see how you're prepping. I think they know deep down what they're going to say when you bring it up.
All right.
And you notice they only take a little bite.
Bad terminology
Unless
there,
it's great.
Stephen, wasn't it? Bad terminology there, mate. When they bring it up.
Yeah.
Nice. It should be staying down,
Right,
surely.
excuse the sound on this.
And another question. What's all the noise about? And you can't hear me now. 400 quid. 400 quid. What for? You could have done that one in the interval.
I should have done.
Oh. Bradley, how's your earpiece going? That's nice and noisy, isn't it? Wow. Yep, that's done.
So that's a lovely wild garlic cream.
Now I know who you
Really
used to,
simple.
I know who you used to do doing when you were younger, when you copying when you doing cooking. You used to use certain people's menus and you used to study them. Who is your favourite? Who is your favourite chef?
I mean, when I was growing up, it was Jamie Oliver sliding down the banister
Yep.
on his moped. But then as I got older, it would then change to like Raymond Blanc. So when I went and ate in his restaurant, it really changed the direction of my career. I just had an amazing meal and I wanted to try and emulate what he's got. And then now, after MasterChef, the chef I really love is Massimo Bottura.
Local
So he's
lad
an
then.
Italian-based chef.
Yep.
Amazing. It's just so inspirational.
And when you travel other countries, when we're allowed to, what's your favourite food from another country?
And this might surprise you, but I really love Cypriot meze. You know, like I still remember, like it's not technically mind-blowing, but it's just simple, fresh ingredients, small plates just delivered to your table, and for me, that's just like perfect holiday food.
Loads of little starters.
Yeah, you know, like the rice wrapped in the vine leaves, just stuff
Really?
like that. I love. You know, just simple.
Oh. Oh. Right, before you do your next bit, what's your favourite meal to have when you finish work and you just want to get your gym jams on and your slippers?
I'm a pizza guy. You know, it's so simple. You just open the packet, put it in the oven, and I love pizza. It's boring, but I just crave like comfort food.
Easy to do though. Easy to do. Right,
So
what we up to?
cream. I made a little wild garlic oil, so really similar to the cream. Heat the oil up to 90 degrees. Add your wild garlic and blitz for a minute, and then
What
pass
oil
off
did
for
you-
a fine.
What oil
sieve.
did you use for that?
Again, it's the
what
same pomace oil blend. I think you saw it earlier.
Yeah. So this is a
Just
mixture
something
of,
simple.
yeah. It's rapeseed oil and olive oil. Is
An
that right?
olive blend, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a third press olive oil. Because cooking with extra virgin oil can be really peppery. It can burn really easily. It's not great for cooking with.
And can we get that from supermarkets?
Yes.
We can. Okay.
Yeah, especially like Waitrose. And others.
And other ones, yes.
Yeah.
So where are we up to now?
So we're going to start bringing the dishes together. So I've got my cod roast sauce. Really nice and smoky. I've got my pan on for my spring onion. And like I said earlier with the fish, I just want it on a medium high heat. So we said with meat, you want it scorching hot. You want to see the smoke.
Yeah.
Whereas with the fish, I just want it medium, so I don't want to burn it. We've also got our fish cakes, which is going to go in the fire as well. So you pressed it and portioned it.
What's that there? Sorry, what was that in your hand?
Sorry, that was the hash brown.
That's your hash brown. So that's when you've got it out of there, and from the press where you had it pressed, and now you just made it. You turned it into
Yes. So I could come over here.
So you made it different. McCain's ones would be triangular, and yours is coming out as a rectangle.
I mean, to be honest, just press it under whatever shaped container you've got, and then all I've done is cut it in half.
Yeah, it's effective though. It's effective.
Yeah, and that needs to be pressed overnight.
Okay. We got a nine votes for this question coming up. 9 people have asking this question.
Okay, yeah.
Which are your favourite restaurants to eat out in Brighton and Hove when you get the time and when they're open?
So
let's have your top
Little
3.
Fish is my favourite.
Number 3 is what? Number 1 is what?
Little Fish Market.
Little Fish. Number 2?
It's 64 degrees.
And number 3?
The Set.
The what?
The Set restaurant.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said your own. So where did Etch come in?
Oh yeah, I should have said my own. I should have said my own.
That is your number 1, of course. All right,
Yeah.
now holding the fish down to make sure you get the skin nice and thingy, isn't you?
Absolutely. So the important thing here is the sizzle. So it's not smoking hot, but it's starting to go crispy. Get our spring onions in the char grill as well.
And times changed since Fanny Craddock. Fanny Craddock would never
But
cook
if you
like
look at
this.
this recipe and break it down, it's like very simple things. You know, the char grilled spring onions. The hash brown is literally just Jersey oils. But it's the combination of all these little things together which is going to make the dish sing.
Let me
I
remind
think I'll
everybody.
say to someone as well is you don't maybe need to do every element. You can almost do a simpler version of this. Instead of the wild garlic oil, you could use some wild garlic pesto or basil pesto. Would work just as well on this dish. So the fish, I think you said it's important to hold it down. The timer that went off earlier was for the cod. So what I did was I basically washed it in water. And then the important thing is to pat it dry. Like so. If you don't get that skin dry, it's not going to go crispy.
No. Now, if you do need any fish, don't forget all you lovely people out there. Fish Galore, our wonderful sponsor tonight, have got everything you want online, and it's delivered as well to your door. Did you know that?
What's that, Steve?
I'm just saying Fish Galore delivered to your home. So you go online and find they're doing the platter that's in the raffle tonight is an amazing platter of different seafood. So excellent stuff. I'm getting a chase up now from Janella. Are you there, Stephen? He can't hear me now. Steve, Earth to Stephen. Hello, hello. Bradley, we've gone down.
Yeah, it seems we've lost Stephen's main camera, so I'm hoping he can.
I don't think you can hear us.
I don't think he can hear us. But I've sent an invite to him to his main camera again, so I'm hoping he can see that.
Right, because the mic was working on prep 3, wasn't it?
The mic's working on prep 3.
And the sound
why-
might be coming out of the other one.
That's why we can hear it. But
Well, I'll run through what we're doing. So we're still doing the cod. We've got it down the skin side. We're just going to flip it over. Oh, he's just flipped it over now. Doing it on the other side. We are doing something or other with our spring onions, which are called scallions, in America, I believe. They call them scallions somewhere else.
I'll leave this to you, Steve. I'm going to try and resurrect Stephen's main camera to come back.
Right, well, he's burning something. I see burning. I can see smoke coming. So, well, let me just bring up about the sponsors whilst we're waiting for Stephen to come back. We've got Retail Distribution Group, which are fantastic. If you want anything moving, same day in Brighton, speak to David Drake. His details are on the actual homepage. We've got City Utilities, which I know a little bit about. We do gas and electricity for commercial businesses. Always give you a good and brilliant price. Fish Galore, which is Fish Galore, with Sean and Claire. Sean used to be as a former skipper of a trawler, so he knows everything there is to know about fish. He's based in Hove. And then we have Piglet's Pantry, which are out in Worthing, which we all know are an award-winning food producer of pies and sausage rolls, etc. Now, in the raffle tonight, we've got a selection of Piglet Pantries, which is sausage rolls and pies. We've also got a wonderful fish platter or seafood platter from Fish Galore, and we've also got this lovely table for two for the 5-course taste of the menu. Now he's adding butter to. I don't know. The garlic leaves are going in there now. I hope he's still talking. The garlic leaves are going in with the butter to go in with the cod. He's now pressing buttons, I'd imagine. No, he's not. He's getting a spoon, so he's mixing it up, and then now. There's a word for that. I heard it on the telly the other day, but it's like basting putting the butter over the top of the cod. I can't ask him any questions while we're doing this. So we've got two sauces, one vegetarian or one non-vegetarian. We've got the fish cake. We've got we have the cod, and we have the hash brown. It's a bit of an old tricky one, this, trying to do it on your own without any help. I'm sure it's going to taste nice when we get to it.
Am I back?
He's back. Oh, thank goodness.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
I had to log out and then log back in.
He's done this on purpose. I guess what's happened is just want to leave me there straight on my own, worrying about trying to talk about what's it called when you pour spoon of butter over the fish?
Basting.
Oh God, no, there's another name for it. I've seen it on the MasterChef. Someone called it something else. He didn't call it basting. I bet it's got a French word. Who?
I don't know what it's called then.
Oh.
So hopefully you saw that I cooked the fish.
Yes.
So skin side, and then I turned the hob off, turned the fish over, added the butter, wild garlic, a little bit of lemon juice, and that's it, just covering the butter over the top of the fish skin.
Rightio, Stephen, I've got 3 quick questions for you.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Do you apply for MasterChef, or are you asked to apply?
Asked to apply.
You get asked to?
Yeah, I mean, you can just apply normally, but I think they always send an email out to all the top restaurants and hotels.
Oh, right. Okay, so that was happening when you was up in Horsham, was it?
When I was at South Lodge.
Yeah, South Lodge. That's Horsham Way, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the best brand? What's the best brand of non-stick frying pan and roasting tin or tray?
Another good question. I don't think it matters. As long as it's like heavy duty bottom. The
so they don't
Teflon
bend when they get hot.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person you've ever cooked for, and were you nervous?
It's probably Fatboy Slim. And after MasterChef, I don't get nervous.
You don't suffer with the nerves.
No.
Oh, good. I've got some right ones. No, this is a lovely one. Why are J cloths so popular with chefs?
It's just to help with, I mean, especially like steak and stuff. You just want to rest it, and you don't want the juices going all over the plate.
Yeah, but it's a J cloth is the one that says, and a blue one as well. It's always a blue J cloth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've got today.
Yeah, I'll see that. Yeah. And what is your favourite dessert? I thought of I most probably thought the one, the Sahara was one of your favourites, is it not?
Sahara?
Yeah, what's your favourite dessert?
I love a sticky toffee pudding.
Don't we all? Yeah, so that one fell on. That one didn't work very well, did it? Favourite desert.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, you're placing up now.
I am plated up. I'm going to try and move this into view. So we've got a Jersey Royal potato puree, a lovely cod, a little fish cake, and then while the cod was just finishing, just added in some like a few leaves of the wild garlic. Our char grilled spring onion.
Who calls them scallions? Who calls spring onion scallions? Is that across the water, or is that
French? I think it's the French again.
Is it the French?
Some wild garlic. Both. And then we've got our different sauces.
Do you get your Jersey Royals from locally, or do you get them from Jersey itself?
They have to be from Jersey.
They have to be from Jersey. But at the moment, as I understand it, they actually grow them in greenhouses at the moment, don't they?
I mean, you said this to me earlier. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, why would you need to grow potatoes in a greenhouse?
Because they're not ready to come up out the land yet.
Oh, I don't know. I think they are.
I think that's an old story.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one. We'll leave that one.
Right.
And what's this bit here? I'm just conscious. I'm getting Janella shouting at me in the text saying, "Come on, Steve, can you hurry up? We need to get on with the raffle and stuff."
We're there.
I know. She's just got to be patient. Oh, listen, hold up there. Look, there we go.
So this is the smoked cod roast sauce, a little fish cake at the top, barbecue spring onion, wild garlic, and then our little hash brown and potato cake.
Wow, I'll give you a round of applause.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And that's how you do it. So when we have this video goes out to everyone, and you obviously you get your fish from Fish Galore online, and then you create this. At the end of the video, it needs to look the same as those two plates there. And then we want to
just go freestyle it.
Yeah, you don't want them to look the same as that. I think we should have see them looking like that, so you can say, yeah, that's what they're meant to look like. That's one of your signatures.
Yeah, but I think the most important thing is like balance. So not too much of anything.
Well,
plate up how you feel.
That's fantastic. You may sit down now and have a glass of your sparkling.
Oh, look, bubble.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks.
Cheers, everybody.
Thanks for entertaining us and showing us how it's all done properly. I'm sure we'll all be able to have a try and do the same, but it'll never be the same. You know that. You've got to spend years and years of doing it to get it that good.
No, but I agree with what you're saying. But maybe just a few elements, like the fish, a sauce, and some buttered Jersey Royals will be just as good.